I'm over at Cessnock Local Court and it's early January 2025 and I'm observing fresh custody cases. What did the defendant do that resulted in becoming a fresh custody? The defendant was arrested for walking into Cessnock Police Station. How is entering a police station an offence? Well, there's a backstory. The defendant is on strict bail conditions for alleged offending. By the way, these are Muswellbrook matters from 2024 and the offending may have occurred in Scone because one of his bail conditions states that he must not enter Scone. The charges include armed with intent, common assault, contravene an AVO and destroy property. Police are alleging these are serious DV matters, domestic violence, and include banging someone's head into something. I didn't quite hear from the gallery. They are also alleging that he was armed with an axe while the complainant called 000. By the way, the court agrees that drugs are related to this offending. There is also a history which includes robbery with a weapon and contravene an AVO. So this latest alleged offending saw him refuse bail in 2024 for about 2 months. Then the court granted bail, however, did so under strict conditions. One of those conditions is that he remains in a rehabilitation program. Here's where the police are alleging he has breached bail because he's at their police station when he should be in rehab. So the police have made a detention application to return him back to custody. This fresh custody is actually like a show cause matter where the defendant has to argue why they shouldn't return back to jail. It looks like the same as the other fresh custodies, however, it's about who has the burden of arguing the case. The defendant, I would say, is in his 20s and is coming into the courtroom via video, probably from the cells in the police station next door. The court is told the defendant was suspended for 7 days from rehab because of his attitude, not because of a relapse. However, the magistrate points out the paperwork in front of them suggests that the defendant has been permanently kicked out of rehab. There is no evidence that supports that it's only a 7-day suspension. By the way, there is also a fresh charge. It's a bit hard to hear sometimes from the gallery at Cessnock. It's possible the new charge relates to a bag with drugs. In my opinion, it's not a good sign when you hear about a bag with drugs. So the court decides that the breach of bail is established. I think the bail decision was heavily influenced by the fact that the previous magistrate had granted bail under strict conditions. So this Cessnock magistrate set out to uphold that magistrate's decision. Bail had been granted subject to the defendant being in rehab, and he isn't in rehab. The detention application was successful, bail was revoked, and the defendant was returned back to jail.